stretch. You can put it on the ball.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all natural USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you see their best-in-class Wagyu New York fillets. And the king of all, which is the ribeye. You know, they actually have the tomahawks, which is that big bone. First it's a steak, then it's a weapon. It's that gigantic bone on that enormous ribeye. Yes, we have those as well, they say. And even their gourmet Angus and Wagyu beef burgers will blow you away. For more information, contact UppercutChops.com at 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or check them out at uppercutchops.com and see what's for dinner. That's www.uppercutchops.com. All right. And a big welcome in to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends right here in Las Vegas on Magic 97.9 FM. And that's, in fact, our station's right around the corner for the Fremont Street Experience in downtown Las Vegas. And a big little wire flag over in sunny Southern California. That would be KCAA, NBC News, and CNBC Financial. For everybody watching on Facebook, you can see the NBC Sports mic flag, because actually NBC Sports was our station over there, but then a lot of those have been taken over by CBS and others. So nonetheless, big welcome into everybody also listening in on all of our independent affiliates from Atlanta to, through Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana and Georgia and everywhere else. Thanks for joining us also on Hotel Television in over 500,000 rooms in every major secondary and third level market across America, and also Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wow Cable, and Facebook. All right, getting right into it here. Listen, there's been an ongoing rash of bad behavior and bad stuff that happens in the National Football League. And I don't know why these players are glorified. I don't know why these players are thought of as I don't know, athletic gods or something. It's ridiculous. So there's such a lack of discipline in the National Football League. It sort of makes me sick to my stomach. So here we go. Here's yet another one. Now, another death, of course, was caused by an NFL player. This one's from the then Washington football team. Now it's the Washington, Commanders. What do you call them for short? The commies? I don't know. I have no idea what you call them. It doesn't really matter. Nonetheless, bad news here for Washington. Now, Washington Commanders safety DeShazer Everett has been charged with involuntary manslaughter for a December car crash in Virginia that killed his girlfriend, Olivia Peters. As a matter of fact, the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office announced the charge in a statement alleging that Everett was driving more than twice the posted speed limit before a single car crash. Essentially, he lost control. Now, of course, the statement reads, quote, "The driver involved in the December 23rd, 2021 fatal crash that took the life of Las Vegas woman has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after an investigation determined he was traveling over twice the posted 45-mile-an-hour speed limit just prior to the crash," close quote. In fact, Everett turned himself into the Loudoun County Adult Detention Center, according to LCSO. Now, his attorney announced in a statement that Everett has since been released on $10,000 bond. And the statement reads, quote, "Our team continues to investigate the matter as we intended to vigorously defend Mr. Everett against these allegations." What do you mean these allegations? Back to the quote. "We continue to ask that judgment be reserved until all facts are fully investigated and litigated in the proper form," close quote. Buddy, it sounds to me like this guy was speeding double the limit, and it's not allegations. These appear to be the facts, according to the data from the police reports. But then again, we have to wait on passing judgment until all the facts are fully investigated. Give me a damn break. Now, according to the incident report, the crash occurred at 9:15 p.m. on December 23rd in Loudoun County, just outside Washington, D.C. Per the report, the 2010 Nissan GTR, quote, left the right side of the roadway, struck several trees, and rolled over, close quotes. Now, Peters, who was riding as a passenger, was taken from the scene to a hospital where she died. Everett was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries and released 4 days later. Now, Everett, this guy's 29 years old, played his entire 7 seasons in the NFL in Washington. He made a couple of interceptions, whatever. But guess what? Here's another guy, a so-called star, a so-called role model, call him what you will, that killed somebody. Now, we saw this right here in Las Vegas just a couple of months ago. In fact, it was right down the street from these studios right here, maybe 2 miles away. That was the Henry Ruggs scenario, another situation where, yes, a Las Vegas woman died, just like in this situation. So where do we draw the line with discipline in the National Football League? There's got to be a discipline. Everybody watching on TV in hotels and Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and Wild Cable, everybody on Facebook, I would love to hear this. Somebody please chime in. Where do we draw the line on discipline for these alleged star players? Look, they're people just like you and me, folks. They are people, and they deserve the same penalties and not special treatment that a lot of athletes get. And there have been scores and scores of alleged superstar athletes that have been given a lot of latitude because of their alleged status, which is a bunch of crap in the first place. So what I want to know is, what in the hell is Roger Goodell going to do about discipline in the National Football League? Let me look. This guy does a lot of this here, a lot of yip yap, lip flap. That's all he gives. And he makes tens of millions of dollars to do what? Stay out of the way, right? So they have the poster boy. I think they're paying him something like 40 million bananas a year. It's something stupid. I don't know.
Show me the money!
It's always one of those deals with this guy. But what the hell is he doing? Just like with the Brian Flores thing, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I just want to know, instead of having rules that dance around subjects, instead of having subjects that are taboo to talk about, right? Hire this coach, hire that coach, whatever. Instead of having real discipline, the NFL says, we're going to let these guys do whatever we want because the TV contracts are far more important than the safety and well-being of others. That's the message the NFL is actually sending. And frankly, it's a little embarrassing to imagine why the NFL would engage in such stupidity. I don't know. Here's another one. And right here in Las Vegas, as a matter of fact, folks, the beat goes on. And I do mean the beat. How about the beat down in this case? So therefore, now this one is a police report. Alvin Kamara and others beat a man unconscious and broke his eye socket. What the hell's going on here? Now, a day after Alvin Kamara's arrest, details emerged about the alleged battery that landed him in a Las Vegas jail. Yes, right here in town. Yet another NFL alleged star. Let's see how much special treatment he gets. So police documents obtained by the New Orleans Times-Picayune allege that Kamara and 3 others in his party beat a man unconscious at a nightclub at the Cromwell on the Las Vegas Strip, which was the old Bills, the old Barbary Coast, those that know Old Vegas, right across the street from Bally's, right on the south, better yet, it's the northeast corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo. So according to the Las Vegas Metro Police report, the alleged victim, I love that, the alleged victim. No, he is a victim. The alleged victim told police he met Kamara's party at an elevator. Yes, at an elevator at a late night club around 6:30 a.m. And Alvin, who interviewed with the police before his arrest, told the police that the alleged victim called one of his friends, are you ready for this one? Ugly. Called him ugly. Per the report, Kamara put his hands on the man's chest to prevent him from joining them on the elevator, as if Kamara owns the elevator. We'll get back to that. Then the man pushed Kamara's hands off of him like any other normal human being would do, like, get away from me. Well, guess what? The man said that he was then pushed and that one of the men in Kamara's party punched him. Oh, yeah. And there it is. And so Kamara didn't throw the first punch, supposedly. Apparently his people did. Nonetheless, according to the report, but he joined others in beating the alleged victim. And of course, there is a video that will show all of this on top of it. Who the hell does this clown think he is? I don't care, Alvin Kamara, how great you are on the football field, buddy. In my opinion, you're a piece of garbage. You and your boys should all be in jail right now. This is ridiculous. Now, the police and Kamara, boy, they have a lot to talk about. So Kamara's people allegedly, apparently, and physically, and with video evidence, stomped on the victim's face and chest. Let that one sink in, folks. Let that one sink in. We're going to go to break here in a second. Let that sink in when you've got a guy and then you've got a bunch of other people. Oh, yeah. And I mean, according to the police, Kamara's group stomped the man's face, his chest and legs 23 times and punched him 9 more times, leaving him unconscious. I'll tell you what, we're going to leave you with that one. We're going to be back here in just a few minutes on the circus. This is stupid. How about some discipline with these losers? In my opinion, that's what they are. They should be paid 0. Back here in a few minutes on the circus. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@aamp.tv. That's info@aamp.tv.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. That's 800-908-7016.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. AAMP TV stands for All Ages Media Programming. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow AMP TV, AAMP.TV. All right, this segment brought to you in part by Curry Leaf, Flavors of India, fine Indian cuisine. Everybody here in Las Vegas, I got a secret for you. 5025 South Fort Apache Road, Las Vegas, off the southwest corner of Tropicana and Fort Apache, is probably the best Indian restaurant in Las Vegas. And I would say arguably within the Southwest, period. It is fantastic. It's Curry Leaf. Check out the menu at curryleafvegas.com. That's curryleafvegas.com. Also, find out if you can make a reservation for dinner or lunch at 702-527-7977, 702-527-7977, 702-527-7977, and check out the fine feast over at Curry Leaf, Flavors of India, fine Indian cuisine right here in Las Vegas. All right, welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA, and that is home of the 49ers, home of the San Francisco Giants, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Also, a big hello to our friends on our flag station, NBC News and CNBC Financial. It's KCAA in Southern California, KIOF Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us. Also in Mississippi and Louisiana, that's 107.1 The River. Also, listen in on 104.7 The Gator, their sister station, for some fine music as well. All right. And also our friends in Auburn, Alabama. Thanks for listening on WAUD, and that's home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. Speaking of Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM, and everybody else on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wow Cable, and Hotel Television, and Facebook. Thanks for joining us back here talking about the Alvin Kamara and his people incident. You may recall in the last segment talking a little bit about the fact that Kamara didn't like the fact that this guy, allegedly, some guy tried to get on an elevator, said one of his people is ugly. That doesn't really make sense. Nonetheless, so according to police, Kamara's group of people, yes, his group of people stomped on a guy's face, his chest, his legs roughly 23 times and punched him 9 more times, leaving him unconscious. And Kamara punched him 8 times himself. Oh, yeah, including 3 blows that landed after the guy hit the ground. You want to talk about a cowardly act? Elvin, buddy, you're better than that, or are you? I don't know. Who are you at this point? So, look, this is really bad. This is per the report. Also, the report states that the victim did not hit Kamara or anyone else in his party. In fact, security broke up the beating and escorted Kamara's party out of the club, according to police. Oh, yeah. This is legit, folks, and there's video evidence to prove it. So police interviewed the beaten man at a local hospital after he came to because he was knocked unconscious, and he only remembered one of his assailants and provided a description that says matches Alvin Kamara in the first place. According to police security surveillance footage backs up his claims and shows Kamara as one of those assailants in the first place. And that footage has not been made public, but will be soon. And there will be hell to pay on this one. So Kamara, everybody knows, look, he's a 2-time All-Pro, blah, 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 for the Saints, played in a Pro Bowl and all this other BS. Look, this guy was taken to the Clark County Detention Center and booked on suspicion of battery. What do you mean suspicion of battery when the video evidence already proves it? This guy should be thrown in jail. Absolutely. Thrown in jail.
Stop it.
That's it. In fact, he posted bond and was released, according to the Times-Picayune, and he's scheduled for an upcoming court appearance. Now, look, if formally charged, which he likely will be, and he should be, if all of these allegations are true, which they certainly seem to be, according to the video evidence, if formally charged and convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, which is nothing to him, but 5 years in the funhouse. Now, neither Kamara nor the Saints publicly addressed the incident, but I want to know, is Kamara going to go to jail? Alvin, are you going to jail? Or are the powers that be going to be bought off? That's what I would love to know. Because, I mean, look, folks, this is Las Vegas. It's a city of money. So I guess what I want to know is who the judge is. Because the judge is going to make a big difference in this. Who is the judge? Is it going to be the same guy that Henry Ruggs had? We don't even know what's going to happen with Henry after killing a driver and killing a dog on top of it, doing 130, 140 miles an hour on a surface street, whatever the hell it was, and killing somebody literally 2 miles away from our studio location right here, right off of Rainbow and Spring Valley, literally just a couple of miles away. So will Alvin have the same judge? Will he go to jail? Or is it going to be preferential treatment for the superstar? Is it going to be one of those? Something tells me it's probably going to be a little bit of that. I mean, what happened with league discipline? Is there any? And we had this in the first segment as well. I want to know, what the hell is Roger Goodell going to do about the lack of discipline in the National Football League? Should Roger Goodell even have a job in the first place? This guy has done zero for anybody but himself. And that means, what has he done? He has found a way to have that Brinks truck backed up.
Show me the money!
Yeah, it seems to me that they're just paying this guy and paying this guy. In my opinion, they just keep paying this guy, and nobody's talking about it. I don't care if you're listening to ESPN or Fox or CBS or NBC or whatever the hell. I don't care. The Bally's Network, pick your favorite network. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're listening to those talking heads on any of those stations. I want to know, does anybody have the gonads to talk about this in the same way that the circus does? Because it sure seems to me that there is a lot of money floating around that seems to disappear. Maybe it goes into numbered accounts. I don't know. I don't know. It's above my pay grade. All I know is that it seems like particularly NFL players keep getting into trouble and they keep getting away with everything. Maybe the casinos have something to do with it. What do you think about that? There's an interesting thought, seeing that the teams have to turn in their lineup cards 90 minutes before the games. What's really going on here, folks? Is this the big payoff? And let's just let all these clowns escape with a slap on the wrist or some garbage like that? What about that league discipline? How about Roger Goodell losing his job to a lack of discipline or enforcement? Because he certainly isn't doing, I'm sure somewhere in the rules, as the commissioner of the National Football League, something tells me somewhere there's got to be something that makes him enforce discipline. Because look, if you're the leader, if you're the commissioner, it's like being a president of a company or being the president and not having any control, or better yet, any say in what's going on. It's the old, what do they call that? I think they call that like the dead fish type of a scenario. Is Goodell one of those people? Is he just a puppet? I don't know. We see that in politics, don't we? We see that in companies. Hell, I know. I've already been in that rodeo. I've been the alleged president of a company, not being able to make any decisions and then being judged on the fact that I couldn't make decisions. I know what that looks like. I mean, how many people have been said that they've been told that they are going to be in charge of something, and yet they're not in charge of it? So Roger Goodell, what the hell is he in charge of? Is he in charge of what, the Brinks truck backup system? I don't know. I mean, what about a lawsuit from the beaten person? Now, here's another interesting situation. So this guy that was beat down by Camara and his people, and just beat down, and I mean beat down. What's going to happen as far as the lawsuit goes? Now, does the lawsuit go against the Caesars Palace chain for a lack of security because it happened in a Caesars Palace property? The Cromwell is part of the Caesars property chain of hotels here in Las Vegas. So my best guess is you're going to see multiple lawsuits. You're going to see multiple lawsuits with multiple people named in it. And so one of them likely, most definitely, if I know with my legal background, I'll tell you right now, it would seem to me, in my opinion, it's my opinion, folks, that you're going to see one lawsuit against the Caesars chain. You're going to also see a lawsuit against, and that's going to be the Cromwell. You're going to see a lawsuit against Alvin Kamara, and you're going to see lawsuit against the other assailants. Now, I don't know how many of those, but you can't necessarily name them at all, because if you do that, then what you do is you lose the value on the lawsuit itself. So my best guess is you will see upwards towards maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 lawsuits. It's going to be depending on who actually did the damage. And you can't necessarily sue somebody that's a bystander at this point, because not everybody, I guess, joined into the party. But let's say everybody who made physical contact with the victim, those are the people that are going to be, in my opinion, they're going to be open up to a lawsuit. But most definitely it's going to be the Cromwell Hotel and Casino. And it might even be the Dre's nightclub as well, because that's where it was. It was on top of that property. So you could see an extra suit there too. So you could see one from the nightclub, one from the casino and hotel, and then you'll see several, one against Camara, and then one each against all those people. That would be, in my opinion, yes, it's all my opinion, that would be the right way to do it. Because then, look, you may not win all of them, but you're going to win some of them, guaranteed. So this guy took a beat down for likely millions of dollars. Is it worth it? Broken eye socket, the whole thing? I don't know. You be the judge. All I know is that is a cowardly thing to do by Alvin Kamara, and he should be punished to the maximum extent of the law, and all of his people should as well. Back here at the Sports Circus in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. A lot more football. We're going to stick with football today. Don't go anywhere. Back in a few.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us right back here on the Sports Circus. You may have heard me talking in between a commercial break to our audience on social media. I was talking about my cat. You got hair all over the place. Sometimes it happens, folks. When you have a home studio, I think that's kind of fun. And everybody looking on TV, you see there's this really cool setup, a bunch of football helmets over on my left side. And for everybody on the other side, let's see if I could turn the camera a little bit. So everybody on the other side, they can see there's all kinds of neat stuff, helmets and all kinds of neat stuff over there. And this is one of those fun little venues where you can kind of be creative and do what you want to do and have a little bit of fun with your studio. We have multiple studios. We have the AMP TV mobile studio, the big bubble that will move from city to city and location to location. It's kind of fun. Park it outside of this scene or that scene. Hell, we had it out a few days ago over in Los Angeles. And I'll tell you what, this is fun stuff, folks. Talking about things that you're passionate about. In fact, this segment is brought to you in part by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk shows. Cali Vegas can help with everything they need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job, and host your very own talk show in your very own home studio. For more information, contact Cali Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit online for more information at www.calivegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. I've got multiple cameras going here. Everybody on the radio, you can't see this. I have a camera over here to my right. I got another camera straight on here. So the camera to my right is for social media. The other one is for regular television straight ahead. So everybody watching on TV, you see me kind of veer away to the right a little bit, quite a bit. So I'm actually looking at the other camera. So get over yourselves. All right. Going to stick with football here just because we can. Just because we can. How about this? How about, look, everyone's talked about until they could puke coat hangers, Tom Brady retiring, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we've already went over that like everybody else. Last week we went over it. So, and you know, Tom said, and everybody's trying to make a big deal of this because they're trying to sell more advertising. Well, you know, Tom said never say never. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Really? Moving on. Now, with Tom Brady retired, the next story goes to Rob Gronkowski. And in fact, he names a quarterback that he wants to play with. Oh, yeah, that he wants to play with. Now, this is NBC Sports Boston. Mind you, the other stories we had, they were also NBC Sports, so we want to make sure we credit NBC Sports for those. This one here, NBC Sports Boston. If Rob Gronkowski plans on returning for another NFL season, he'll have to do it so without his longtime friend and quarterback, Tom Brady. So now, of course, Brady recently retired, as I just said, after 22 seasons, 11 which were spent with Gronk as a teammate, and the former New England Patriots tight end has spent his entire career with Tom Brady as his quarterback. But he's open-minded about, let's face it, playing with somebody else besides that 7-time Super Bowl champion throwing to him. He says, you know what? Let's look into that a little bit. Now, apparently, there is one quarterback, yes, that he would change his mind and play with. In fact, asked during a Q&A for a autograph NFT, which is non-fungible tokens, by the way, who he'd want his quarterback to be now that Brady isn't an option, Gronk didn't hesitate to say the following, quote, I kind of like this young buck quarterback. He's in the Super Bowl now. It's Joe Burrow, man. I watched him in college. I just love the way he presents himself on the football field. In the pocket, he's just so calm, and he just slings it out on the field. I just love his swag, too. If I had to pick a quarterback, it'd be the young buck Joe Burrow, and he's killing it right now in the game, close quote. How about Joe Burrow? How about him? Now, Burrow's really a second-year pro out of LSU, but really, the fact is, this is his first full season. Now, you may recall, last season, he was injured after just a handful of games. He had to sit out the balance of the season. So it's really his first full year leading the Bengals to the Super Bowl. I got to tell you, this kid is something special. This kid is something special. In fact, 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions in 16 games. Pretty good numbers. In fact, Gronk is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent real soon and should have no shortage of teams that are looking for him if he wants to come back next season. Now, of course, with the current Bengals tight end, Uzoma, also hitting free agency, Cincinnati suddenly looks like an intriguing destination for Gronk. You know, and I kind of like the idea. I like the match. And look, let's talk about this Super Bowl for a moment. You know, a lot of people are saying Rams. Not sell the bookmaker. PlaceYourBet.Vegas, by the way. If you're looking for some good sports information, PlaceYourBet.Vegas running at over 80% on the win column against the Vegas line.
Show me the money!
Oh, yeah. All those other alleged experts that are out there, even right here in Las Vegas, they have reached out to me and Place Your Bet and the Sports Circus. Hey, did you want to have our experts, in air quotes, our experts on your program talking about our prognostication and about our picks, because we're running at over 65%. 65%. Well, let's face it, folks. That's not that good, because at the end of the day, you're making flat bets. You're making a bet just on one team. You're putting up an extra 10%. So really, you've got to really have a lot of wins under your belt to see some measurable wins. Because look, at 65%, if you're winning 65% of the times, yet you're giving away 10% of your bets, you're really only gaining how much? 10% every bet, but you're risking that money every time. Wouldn't you rather be with an organization that, geez, I don't know, wins you at over 80%, minus your 10% that goes to, I'm saying 80% of the time, that your 10% VIG that goes to the house? Well, something tells me you're going to be in a better spot, making a lot more money. Nonetheless, let's talk about that game for a minute. So everyone's saying Rams. Well, listen, outside of Cooper Kupp, who is the best receiver on planet Earth today, he has a problem, because Cincinnati is going to double him almost every play. They're going to double him, which leaves Odell Beckham possibly with man coverage. And he's not the same Odell Beckham that used to be with the New York Football Giants. No, he's not the same guy. So that very capable set of corners out of Ohio State from Cincinnati, make no mistake, those boys can play. And so they're going to be all over Odell Beckham like a cheap suit. And so if you think Odell Beckham is going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, you think Cooper Kupp is going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. No. And it's not going to be those guys. They're going to have to go down the trough a little bit. So they're going to their number 3, maybe to the tight end, whatever. I don't know. Well, now let's go to the quarterback position. You've got a lifetime loser in Matthew Stafford. He hasn't won a damn thing. Nothing. He was with the Detroit Lions. Well, they don't really win a lot anyway. So Stafford comes over, looks like a hero, but I'm not so sure he's the hero. Look, when you got a great receiver to throw to like Kupp, you could throw it anywhere in the area code. This guy's going to pull it down. He's an all-world receiver. They used to say that about Kellen Winslow from the old San Diego Superchargers. And so you say, okay, I'm not going to let Cooper Kupp beat me. I'm going to make Matthew Stafford beat me. I'm going to make Sony Michel beat me. Let's stick with the quarterback right now. So if we're talking about the quarterback beating the other quarterback, I got bad news for you. You got Joe Burrow, who is a champion. He is only, 2 years removed from a national title with basically a pro team at LSU. He did not play a full season in the NFL last year. He played a handful of games. Now his first full season, he finds his team in the Super Bowl. Something tells me the advantage goes to the calm-headed, cool customer, and that would be Joe Cool. And so Joe in the backfield, that guy is something special. Even though he gets hit, he'll take a sack and he doesn't throw the ball into a bad situation. He's been sacked more than anybody else in the league. But guess what? This guy is cool as a cucumber. And so Matthew Stafford, he's a pretty good quarterback. That's why the Rams gave up the farm for him. But did the Rams do the right thing? I would rather have a guy that recently has won. He's won something. And I got a guy with a lot of swag in Cincinnati with the Houday Nation versus a guy that has all the pressure on him with the Los Angeles Rams organization. I don't dislike the Rams. I'm not the world's biggest Cincinnati fan, but something tells me Cincinnati's got something up their sleeve. They're going to win this game. And that prediction, 35-31, Cincinnati Bengals. You're not going to see a home team winner 2 years in a row in the Super Bowl, meaning the host team. I mean, because Cincinnati technically is the home team. Doesn't matter. You're not going to see a home team winner 2 years in a row. It's not going to happen. Cincinnati will win this game. In fact, people are underrating Cincinnati's defense. They say, oh, Aaron Donald, you're going to see double and triple on Aaron Donald. They're not going to let Aaron Donald beat them. And 2 NFL guys that I know, very close friends of mine, have said the same thing, along with some others. Run right at Von Miller. He's not the same Von Miller he was with the Denver Broncos. No, run right at him and let Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey go at it. That's okay because you got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd that are number one receivers on other teams as well. Listen, this is the Bengals game to win. They have a better secondary. They have a better receiving core overall. They certainly have a better running back in Joe Mixon over Sony Michel. I'm giving this one to the Bengals, folks. I'm sorry. Go get your checkbooks out. Go cash a check and go place your bet on the Bengals. You heard it here first on the Sports Circus. Back here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. That's 800-989-1694.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system. And it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit bestsupertea.com. The first word is best, spelled B-E-S-T, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is bestsupertea.com, or call us at 818-274-8270, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-274-8270, bestsupertea.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. All Ages Media Programming.tv, AAMP.tv. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow AMP TV. This segment brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with physical locations, strategies, sales and marketing, capital resources, or establishing those physical locations or on the internet for your new business. For more information, contact the American Business Trust Company at 657-600-1876. That's 657-600-1876. 657-600-1876. Or check them out online for more information at www.abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. All right. Welcome back to everybody, even those on the Mars rover. All right. Sticking with the NFL here, just because we're on a roll. Look, I've already given everybody my picks and my thoughts. In fact, watch the Facebook Live. And actually for this episode, look on Facebook under Sal Circus. Sal Circus. That's what the Facebook page is for the Sports Circus. I guess because I'm a one-man circus, right? Sal Circus. All right. Make sure that you replay this one and listen in between breaks, and you'll get my breakdown of the analysis for the Super Bowl. Pretty good stuff, folks. Pretty good stuff. And let's just see how accurate. I mean, I have been spot on with this, and it's not a mistake, man. I'm good at this. It is what it is. Show me the money! All right, you show me some of that, and I'll give you some good information on how to pick these games at placeyourbet.vegas. All right, sticking with the NFL, it's Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith. God love Lovie Smith. I love Lovie Smith. Nice round of applause for Lovie. Lovie will continue to call the defensive plays as head coach of the Houston Texans. So Lovie has been a head coach for more than, well, better yet, more seasons than he has been a defensive coordinator in his career. And he just became the Texans head coach after one season as the team's defensive coordinator. In fact, Smith, though, will keep calling the plays next season. And he had said in his introductory press conference, quote, this past year I've had so much fun. I've never gotten away from calling plays. I've, of course, been able and been a head coach for a while, too. And a lot of those years, I was heavily involved with defense. And at the purity of the sport, I love coaching. And that's just not talk. Having my hands on. Love that. And he continues to say, I loved calling plays last year. I will be calling defenses this year as well. Just look around right now. Most of the head coaches who are offensive guys, they call plays. For some reason, a lot of the defensive guys don't. I think I can help our program the most with that same role. And so I'll be doing that, close quote. So look, Lovie is a guy that he's very non-confrontational, a very easygoing guy. He's just one of those guys. He's extremely likable. No matter what your opinion is of this guy, this team or that team, whatever he's been with, whatever, high school, or college or the NFL, which he's done a really good job on all levels. Look, he's been at the Super Bowl as a coach. He took the Chicago Bears there, if you may recall. And that was the opening kickoff, Devin Hester run back, and he did go all the way, and he did score a touchdown on the opening kickoff for the Super Bowl. That was very, very exciting. Devin Hester, how about it? But nonetheless, that was Lovie Smith's team. And look, Smith needs more talent, of course, because the Texans, well, they ranked 31st in yards allowed and 27th in points allowed last year. Not so good. So good for Lovie. Now, how about a little bit more from the Texans? All right, let's take a break, take a deep breath, and let's hear an explosion first, because this is what's going to happen. It's Brian Flores. It is Brian Flores' lawyers claim the Texans didn't hire him due to the NFL lawsuit. Shut up. Come on. So lawyers for former NFL head coach Brian Flores had a few things to say after the Houston Texans announced the hiring of Lovie Smith to fill their vacated head coaching slot. And of course, Flores, as you know, is currently suing the NFL and 3 specific teams for racial discrimination hiring practices. Sorry, folks. It is what it is. The lawsuit was filed less than a week after Flores was subjected to an alleged, quote, sham, close quote, interview with the New York Football Giants, and less than a month after the Miami Dolphins shockingly fired him after his 9-8 season that ended with 8 wins in their final 9 games. Now, for that, this is for the Miami Dolphins organization. Flores was doing a pretty good job. The guy finished on a strong note. Did he deserve to get fired? I don't know. I'm not in that business, but it sure seems that if this guy's got his team riled up and roared up and those guys are playing, why would you fire him? I mean, there's some momentum going out of the season into the next season. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's gone. So Flores recently interviewed with the Texans for their head coaching job, but they opted to hire Lovie Smith, who, like Flores, is black. This is according to NBC Sports and Yahoo Sports. So let's just pin this one on Yahoo Sports. Nonetheless, Flores' lawyer released a statement crediting the Texans for hiring a black candidate, but also accused the team of not hiring Flores due to his discrimination lawsuit against the National Football League. Now, maybe they're onto something there. So the statement reads, quote, Mr. Flores was one of 3 finalists for the Texans head coaching position. After a great interview and mutual interest, it is obvious that the only reason Mr. Flores was not selected was his decision to stand up against racial inequality across the NFL, close quote. Look, that's a bunch of BS. Racial inequality, my ass. Lovie Smith is no different than Brian Flores. Oh, yes, actually, he is. Strike that. Lovie Smith is a guy that doesn't try to sabotage the league. Will Brian Flores coach in this league again? My opinion is Magic 8 Ball says absolutely not. Now, in the days after the lawsuit went public, Flores acknowledged that his decision to take the NFL and 3 other teams to court could mean he'd never coach in the league again. Sound familiar? Colin Kaepernick? Nonetheless, he wants another opportunity to be a head coach, but believes it's worth risking his career to bring racism to light and improve the future for other similar candidates in the NFL. Okay, apparently Lovie Smith doesn't count in that group, but then again, who's counting, right? Now, Flores said the day after he filed his class action lawsuit on CBS Mornings, quote, I absolutely want to coach in this league, but I also know that I'm not the only story here. I'm not the only one with a story. This is bigger than football, bigger than coaching, close quote. Now, so Brian gave himself a ticket to the USFL. That's really what's going to happen here. And will not coach in the NFL again, in my opinion. Brian, you're done, buddy. So what about the underlying issues of the payoffs for losing games? Now, that subject seems to blow the entire argument while incriminating, oh, that's right. Don't forget about Hugh Jackson and Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that guy. So now, having said all that, here's this clown, Roger Goodell. Oh, yeah, having said all that, Roger Goodell on NFL history of hiring black head coaches, quote, we have to do a better job, close quote. So, look, multiple reports have this. We're going to credit Yahoo Sports for this one. Out of Inglewood, California, where SoFi Stadium is, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell talked about diversity and inclusion for the 32 head coaching spots in the league. He spoke about evaluating the Rudy rule, an awful rule, and bringing in more independent evaluators. Who the hell are they? To look at why the league hasn't hired more black head coaches. He said he wants better results. Okay. Now, it was hard to take his words too serious since he acknowledged the first question at his pre-Super Bowl news conference last year was about the same damn thing. And actions, of course, will matter. And Goodell said, when discussing the opportunities for black coaches during the latest head coaching cycle, quote, we fell short of that by a long shot, close quote. Shut up. Now, Goodell said he was satisfied with how many black coaches were interviewed, but he said they aren't being hired at a high enough rate. What the hell is that supposed to mean anyway? Look, of the 9 openings in this cycle, the Houston Texans hired Lovie Smith, who is black, and the Miami Dolphins hired Mike McDaniel, who is multiracial. So Goodell said at the SoFi Stadium campus during his annual Super Bowl media conference, quote, what we want to see is the outcome. We want to see black head coaches in the NFL and people of color and eventually gender. Oh, yeah. So it's an inclusive process. and hopefully an inclusive outcome, close quote. Does that not sound like a bunch of gobbledygook? I mean, this is awful. So Brian Flores, of course, versus the NFL at the forefront of Goodell's address. Now, the NFL had a few headlines leading up to the Super Bowl week that had nothing to do with the game, but the lack of diversity among coaches was the main topic. And Goodell started his media conference by discussing that topic after the NFL Network host asked a few opening questions about it. And usually Goodell starts his media conference with positive statements about Super Bowls, blah, 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 the state of the league. Okay, whatever. Now, as you know by now, we have mentioned several times that former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores filed that lawsuit, right, which we had talked about with the sham interview, allegedly, whatever. And, of course, the Dolphins owner, Ross, of leaning on him to tank during the 2019 season for better draft position, offering him $100,000 for each loss, seemingly like the Hugh Jackson one that we talked about, and tanking to cash games reflected by his 1-31 record in 2 years as the Cleveland Browns head coach. But who's counting? So Goodell was asked that the claim with Ross, and yet he said that other accusations by Flores were, quote, very disturbing, close quote. Yeah, what about Jackson? I keep saying we'll get back to him, but we could do a whole show on Hugh Jackson. So Goodell said about the Ross claim, quote, we're going to look into that. We're going to make sure if there are any violations, they won't be tolerated, close quote, blah, blah, blah. Seriously?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Now, quickly, Goodell bypassed speaking about the lawsuit specifically, but said he wants to listen to Flores' claim in that, quote, I admire and respect Coach Flores a lot, close quote. Seriously? Now, black coaches being passed over for head coaching jobs was a big story in the past few weeks. And, of course, as teams fill jobs, but recently civil rights leaders with Goodell called for the league to replace the Rooney Rule. Actually, it's a good idea. And jobs should go to the best qualified applicant, not because of color of someone's skin, but that rule alone is racist, in my opinion. It's stupid. The best candidate should get the best job, period. What is wrong with this, America? Now, Goodell admitted that the NFL's entire process will be reevaluated, including the Rooney Rule, and Flores' lawsuit brought about a new round of discussions on that inclusion of hiring. And Goodell said in closing, quote, that will go through the legal process. It's really more important to talk about. Coach Flores was talking about what other coaches are talking about with respect to what's really happening in the process and what's not leading us to the result we expected to have in the first place. I expect that we've made a tremendous amount of progress, blah, 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 end of quote. Anyway, Goodell, shut up. Seriously, just shut up. Really.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Stop it!
That's for you, Goodell. That's going to do it for the Sports Circus today. I'm your ringmaster, Sal. We'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Till then, so long, everyone.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.